diving are sports that require more than just physical ability. Mental discipline is important to achieve success in the pool and on the board.
You know, a lot of it for me always goes back to training. You know, the victories and you know, being a part of championships and all that, it's great. I mean, no doubt about it. That's kind of the culmination of what you're trying to do when you've accomplished goals, and that's awesome. But what always gets me is watching people in training when they do things that they just didn't think were possible, and then they knock it out and they just put themselves in a different, you know, just a totally different level as an athlete.
All-American diver Tom Neubacher, who has made every ACC final during his career at Florida State, is admired by his peers as well as his coaches for his focus and determination.
It's really interesting. Tom is a really cool guy. I feel like he and I are really similar in a lot of ways. Like if I could beat anybody else on the team, it would probably be Tom. You know, if I can do a dive like anybody else, it'll probably be Tom. Every single new dive that I've learned on 1 meter, 3 meter, and 10 meter, he's kind of like counseled me through it if I've been scared. Plus, he's just like a natural diver prodigy.
From an early age, Neubacher knew he wanted to dive. It became part of his family.
As little kids, me and my brother Mike, who was also a diver, would climb trees, flip off a dock, you know, water ski tube, all that stuff. And we got into gymnastics.
And as most siblings do, they competed with each other. But they used that brotherly bond to become even better on the boards and perform at a higher level.
I think the rivalry helped us get better as divers. You know, if I saw him doing a dive, I wanted to do that dive. If he saw me rip something, he wanted to rip something. So it was never angry if one of us beat each other, or angry if one of us qualified for a meet. It was just, all right, you did that, all right, well, I'm going to do it next time. So it was only positive.
And it was those qualities that Patrick Jeffrey saw in Neubacher that made him want to coach him at Florida State.
The thing that Tom has, I think that's very valuable in an athlete, is he'll never give up. And diving's pretty interesting that way. If you start an event and you don't start well, sometimes there's just no coming back from that, no matter how well you do. He's the kind of kid, he'll be like, well, you know, I'll get third, or I'll get second, or I'll get whatever it takes to qualify for the next meet. He's a great example to a lot of the other kids on our team that way, and that's my favorite thing about coaching him.
But it's more than just his diving abilities that makes Tom an inspiration. His triumph over family obstacles is what gives him character.
My father passed away 2 years ago, so that was really tough. Me and him were, well, my whole family is super close. They would come to every meet. My dad, you know, knew everything about diving, always pushing me to do better. You know, I always try and, you know, make my dad proud whenever I'm out there. I'm trying to be like the best athlete and student I can be for him.
His family continues to support Tom and attends every meet. His diving carries that much more meaning as he continues to dive with his dad's spirit to guide him.
He's got a medallion, it's his father's thumbprint, and he wears it every day. It goes with him everywhere. He has it all the time. And I know he thinks about his father on a daily basis, and I think it does help. I think it gives him a lot of strength.
Tom's father still inspires him in all aspects of his life.
My father is one of the most hardworking person I've ever met in my life. He turned not the best situation into a great career and owning his own business, and just became a humongous success. And I just could see that, you know, with hard work, anything is possible. So if I just work my butt off every day in the classroom and in the pool, you know, nothing can hold me back.
As Tom enters his final season at Florida State, all he can ask for is to make it to the NCAA championships one last time.
It just motivates me to just try my hardest, and if they can do it, why can't I do it? You know, I do want to be the next Seminole that, you know, maybe they talk about, or like the younger ones can look up to.
Tom Neubacher will leave a legacy at Florida State as far as his diving and academics go, but his diving is much more than that. He dives with purpose, a purpose that keeps his father's spirit alive. I'm Linda Kelsey for Seminole Sports Magazine.